We should go. There's a storm coming.
Alright, I think this might actually be our first look at the new villains. Now, yes, it might not be, and it's not the best picture, but obviously we're not going to get any big reveals before we see it in the episode. So if they were going to tease anything, it's going to be like this, an image that isn't too clear and it could be mistaken for just a zombie, but it has a weird look to it. And mainly it's the stance here. And again, it could just be a regular zombie, but this stance, man, this makes it seem like this might be an actual Whisperer. And it doesn't have to be Beta or a main Whisperer or Alpha. This could just be a member of the Whisperers. But they have this other trailer that has a couple shots that's not in the trailer they showed after the new episode, and it's on Instagram. I'm going to try to put a couple images up. Hopefully AMC doesn't, block it or flag it or take it down, or hopefully they don't interfere with me showing it. I won't play the sound, but I highly recommend you go on to Instagram and find AMC's The Walking Dead and check out this with the sound and all that. And the one thing I want to make note of is the atmosphere. I think going into the Whisper storyline with the atmosphere, that is something that just in that one little image alone, I mean, it's everything we've seen in the two trailers combined, but in that one little image alone with the storm coming, Daryl references that. You hear the thunder, and then you see aspects of a stormy night with thunder and lightning and shit like that, and you got the whispers and zombies and this unknown aspect. It's unknown to the characters, and I'm sure unknown to some fans out there, but that atmosphere is something that we were talking about a while ago. We've been talking about this. If you're a subscriber on this channel, you know one of the most important aspects going into the new beginning, and especially the Whisperers as villains, I've said it time and time again. It's like Angela Kang either agrees and she's right there with us, or they actually were listening to some, and I don't want to say stealing our ideas, but no, they were listening to some things that fans would love to see, and they would love that atmosphere and that tension and that suspense. And even though I was a big advocate for the atmosphere, especially, I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of fans discussing the atmosphere, especially in this group here, in this community here, but also online. The atmosphere and the creepiness and the tension with the Whisperers is so very important to the story, and it's a part of the story where a lot of fans, like myself, found it to actually be creepy and somewhat scary for the first time in The Walking Dead. Oh, I get so excited looking at this a little bit because it looks like this could be proper creepy as hell, man. Especially with this type of villain, it can work, and that atmosphere plays such a big, vital part in that immersion for us as fans. Anyway, I put some images on the screen while I was talking, and I do want to discuss some of the other images that they showcase. One thing I want to talk about is the legacy character, Judith Grimes or Judith Walsh. My biggest concern is I hope she's not a friend or relative of a producer or actor or something like that, you know what I mean? And I hope she's a little actor that could just kick ass, a talented little actor that they cast her on her talents alone so she can shine, because child actors are really difficult, because if they don't work, the whole thing comes crumbling down. It's a bit ridiculous she was shooting off Rick's gun. I do believe I have seen, not only on YouTube, but in real life, I've known people who raised their kids around guns and shooting guns, and I don't know if, his Python is a bit of a stretch, but I've seen kids handle 9mm at a young age and handle it really well. There was another girl on YouTube, I believe, who was raised all around guns, and she shoots like a grown-ass man, you know what I'm saying? And she's only like, I believe it was 12. Yeah, she was only 12 in the video at that time. So I know Judith is, around 10-ish? So it's, if you're not familiar with guns or families that raise kids using guns and gun safety and shit like that, then it's probably a wild stretch. I do think they should have probably gave her a smaller weapon to, bridge that stretch of the imagination, you know what I mean? That could be a nitpick for some, but I just want to throw that out there. I'm actually really excited for the character of Judith Grimes, and I'm curious to see how it unfolds and try to make sense of why Carl was cut. I do have my theory, and I've talked about it before, but I'm kind of curious to see what they show us moving forward, because I think that would hint greatly on why that decision was made. And I'm not buying the whole Negan thing. I'm just not buying that. Rick could have just wanted law and order. That makes perfect sense. It fits, Honestly, in this day and age, I shit you not, I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of female writers were sitting around and they were like, we had enough boy heroes. We'll kill them off and just have a girl hero. You know what I mean? Because essentially all they did was kill off Carl and then give his role to a character that's not in the comic, or a character that is in the comic but dies as a baby, and then she essentially inherited. So it's basically like we have Carl. It's just a gender swap. You know what I mean? It really is. And I don't say that with any hatred. I'm just stating the facts. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the decision that was made. And I have a daughter, so I don't care if she grows up loving Judith Grimes. Then hell, at least she gets a kick out of that works. But anyway, speaking of Negan, it does look like in the teasers that's exactly what Judith is doing. She has taken over the role of Carl Grimes from the comic, building some sort of relationship with Negan. It's almost identical to what we saw in the comic, but it actually does have benefits that the comic doesn't. The benefit here is it would make Negan a way more redeemable character, essentially becoming a substitute for a father figure in a way, and helping to lead him down the path to be not a hero, but a character that we can tolerate helping our heroes out, you know what I'm saying? And it'll be amusing now going back and watching the season 7 interaction between Negan discovering Judith Grimes for the first time, and then holding her on the porch. Didn't he threaten to kill Carl and Rick while he was holding her? Next up is Michonne, and I do dig her new look. It's just a little variation, it's a Michonne variant, and she's most likely going to be a darker version of Michonne, someone that's just still a little pissed, still a little furious. She's still hanging on to that loss after 6 long years. She's still dealing with losing Rick. So she's going to be in a dark place, or a little bit darker, and maybe even having a little bit of a fall, so to speak, from the Michonne that wanted to establish laws. And she's probably going to be more on the guard or the offensive, and likely will need a little rough around the edges. So this is a Michonne that we might see come full circle and heal over time, and re-embrace the Michonne who was studying to bring laws to the community and make it a better network of communities for them all to live in. And back to her look real quick. I love that she's wearing Rick's blue shirt. That's his blue shirt, ain't it? I fucking love that. Rick's shirt, a piece of material from Carl. She still has that, I assume, in her hair. I love it. And Aaron is officially comic book Rick. I mean, we lost Rick, but we have a visual replacement, at least for comic book fans. It's just neat having it, and I love the actor. He has a lot of charisma, and I'm excited about this. I am. I know it's a stupid thing. It might be. I don't know, but I love it. I get a kick out of it. I do like the hand better, I will say, on the show. That little claw hand in the comic. I really wish they would do 2 things with Comic Rick. Change the claw hand to something else, and then give him the freaking revolver already. Let him find a python, because McFarlane Toys will not stop giving him the damn gun. Just give it to him in the freaking comic. Oh my god. It just hit me. Rick, in his spin-off show, is going to be missing his signature weapon. My mind is blown. I'm a sad nerd. We got an image of our new characters from the end of episode 5 being brought into Alexandria. Interesting to see what they do with the new characters. We get an image of Legolas, is that his name? The dude from crazy-haired Carol. Let's just say crazy-haired Carol. They both have crazy hair now, but definitely interested in that overall story with the kingdom and everyone else. And what is this? Is this zombie shitting out the side of his head? Is he? What is that? Did he get shot, or did his head explode, or did Daryl stab him and he's just so nasty? His body's just like exploding out just shit. Not actual shit, but like just blood, gross blood, and he's an ass face. He's shitting out his face. I don't know what the fuck this is, but it's gross as shit, and I love it. And finally, we see something that is very similar to the comic. We got this water tower. Eugene's up there with a radio. There's a certain character that comes to a grisly fate on the water tower that they already foreshadowed in All Out War. I believe they weren't going to do it, but they might still do it. We got the radio, and that's the beginning of the Commonwealth, which is a big community, which is just a lot going on. I mean, a lot of exciting stuff going on. So we might get our first little hints, like we did with the Wolves, with the Commonwealth in the back half of, they might set up the radio, and then we get the hints in either the episode 8, mid-season finale, or in the back half of season 9, and then that's when we really get more hints throughout that and leading into season 10 with the big confrontation with the Whisperers, and then possibly Commonwealth in maybe end of season 10, or second half of season 10, or first half of season 11. Is that enough time for Rick to reunite? I don't think so. Not if they're actually planning 3 movies with Rick alone. If it's 3 movies and one is a spin-off with Negan and one is something else from a character we don't know about yet, that is possible, but I do think at this time it was quoted as 3 movies and then it was quoted as a trilogy in the Andrew Lincoln interview, so it does look like it's a 3-picture deal. Plus, I gotta connect this with a video I made previously. I think that'll be posted just before this one, so keep an eye out for that. It has to do with AMC signing deals with the franchise. It's pretty interesting stuff. So put your thoughts and opinions about everything you've seen in this video down in that comment box. Exciting stuff. I'm done talking. It's your turn.